Sister Bernadette was just a teenager when she was called to religious life.
I just think the Lord had very bad taste when He chose me.
Far from being bad taste, Sister Bernadette's calling has been a blessing for so many. Most of her vowed life has been in various roles within the Stockton Diocese. Now that she's retired, she's a sacristan at Annunciation Cathedral.
If this is retirement, I don't know what work is. She's here every day. She takes care of the sacristy. She visits the sick. She does whatever anybody needs done.
Visiting the sick, taking communion to shut-ins is a big part of her life.
She does it with a great deal of joy. If anybody's in the hospital, if anybody's stuck at home, if she finds out that anybody's in trouble, she charges off and does what she could.
I'm very, very grateful, and I'm happy that at this age I can still do things. I can still drive.
Whether it's chatting with the sick or just listening, Sister Bernadette knows the importance of her visits.
I'm not a nurse, but I just like to be with the sick. I get more than I give because the people are so kind, the people are so supportive. I think I know that the Lord loves me through the people who are so appreciative.
No, the Lord most definitely does not have bad taste. She appears quiet and unassuming, yet Joan Wainwright has made a profound impact on the lives of thousands of Catholic school students, teachers, and parents.
She's very much was one of the architects of Catholic parish schools as we know them today.
When the nuns started pulling out of schools in the early 70s and were replaced by lay teachers, Joan, first as a diocesan superintendent of schools, then on the School Advisory Council, made it her mission to see that lay people got a just wage and benefits.
We had one of the first, I believe, one of the first diocesan lay retirement plans that's still in effect. This was cutting edge back in the 70s.
Joan then worked to get Catholic schools accredited so they could better compete with public schools. Keeping Catholic schools truly Catholic as opposed to simply private was another one of her goals. Teachers were required to take religion classes, and the tie between the parish and the school was strengthened. Setting up tuition assistance programs were sought so that Catholic schools would not be elitist.
We ask this through Christ our Lord.
Today, we have Catholic schools that are really Catholic, and our children are being educated in the faith, and they're going to be able to transmit that faith to their own families. It was a group of people who made it happen. I was just one voice, once in a while from a soapbox, but the beauty of that is that they listened.
The automobile, fashions, and hairstyles are just some of the dramatic changes we've seen in the last 50 years. But the heart of this woman has remained the same. Carmen Huante's love of others and her church has been steadfast in a changing, evolving world. In fact, every Monday morning for the last 53 years, Carmen and her team of volunteers can be found right here at St. Mary of the Assumption, cleaning top to bottom for another week of masses.
Since I was young, I've always done this, and I've done this from my heart without expecting anything back.
Carmen moved to Stockton from Mexico in 1951 and immediately became involved in her new church. She founded the Guadalupe Society at St. Mary's, encouraging spiritual development and social ministry. She led clothing and blanket drives for farm workers. She formed a group to visit the sick and take the elderly to doctor's appointments, the grocery, and church. She's cooked countless meals and donated food to the needy. She gets involved in various festivities to raise money for the church. Father Heido, now at St. Anne's in Lodi, could always count on Carmen throughout his 8 years at St. Mary's.
When I called Carmen, I need your help. She's, yes, Father, I will go now, and I will help you. And she's helped for decoration of the church, and different activities.
For more than 53 years, this has been Carmen's life. Where does she get the energy?
God gives her the energy. And the Blessed Mother.
And so it is with great pleasure and pride that Carmen continues her mission, serving the church, living her faith, and inspiring others to do the same.
Seven days a week, the alarm goes off at 5:30 every morning.
I sit on the board at St. Joe's Medical Center and also on their foundation board. And then the San Joaquin Partnership, the Business Council. I love what we're doing here with Mary Graham.
No 2 days are ever alike. They just, the phone rings all the time, the phone's going. The fax machine is usually also spewing stuff that somebody's faxing, wants an answer for something, and it's not dull.
It's 10% of the people who do most of the work all of the time, so that if you were going to put together a new committee, Bob and Janet would be the first people who would probably pop into your mind. Bob and Janet are the kind of people that I guess kind of exude a certain aura about themselves that don't be afraid to ask me, and you can be confident that we'll say yes.
And say yes, they do. Their involvement and support of Presentation Church is another fine example of their generosity. Currently, Bob and Janet Kavanaugh's life is filled with numerous board meetings, fundraisers, and charitable organizations. They're proud to be part of the community and to be able to make a difference, like Bob has while on the board at Mary Graham Hall.
I watched this shelter get built from scratch. Now, we didn't fund all of it, but we funded a lot of it, and we also browbeat and coerced and did a whole lot of other things to our board of supervisors. This is as good as any in the state, maybe any in the country.
Janet's work on the board of St. Mary's Interfaith Dining Room is particularly near and dear to her.
I could cry sometimes when I think about the dining room. I see about some of the people that we have come in down there, the clients. We have families that come in down there, and they live in their cars, waking up the next morning and not having a cup of coffee or not a shower. You can't brush your teeth, you can't do any of these things. And so these people that we try and help by trying to make their life a little easier. There's a need out there, that's all, and it's nice to be able to see what you are doing, the results.
Both of them make this a better world and a better church.
The first thing that I do, I like to take a look at the statue to see that everything is okay. I say a little prayer, unlock the door, come in, turn on the lights, bring some flowers, go into the sacristy, and start setting things up, especially if there is going to be a Mass that day. If I see a need, I like to fill it.
And that's exactly what Kathryn Seamon has done since she and her husband Paul moved to Modesto in 1968. Fill a need at Central Catholic High School and its chapel, Our Lady of Light.
It's like you have an angel flying around the school here. It's Kathryn Seamon, and she's in and out of the buildings long before anybody gets to work and takes care of everything. So when we come to work, things are prepared and ready.
They feel that I am rewarding them, but if they thought it over and heard what I'm saying now, they would know that the chapel is my reward.
Kathryn says it was meant to be that she and her husband moved so close to Central Catholic High School all those years ago.
Well, we were passing by, and I saw that they were going to have an open house. So I told Paul, I says, let's stop in and see the open house. We'll pretend we're grandparents and going to put the kids into school. He said, sure. And then when the young students showed the chapel, I asked if there was a Mass. And she says, yes, there's a Mass here every day. I says, that's the place for me. So little by little, I saw things that I could do, and I wanted to do them.
Kathryn and her husband took over the care of the statue of Our Lady. He built the pedestal, and together they kept it washed and painted. When Paul died, Kathryn enlisted the help she needed to keep the statue looking as beautiful as it did 27 years ago. Kathryn's generosity extends beyond the time she gives. She and her husband have donated his paintings to the school auction.
She just understands what giving is all about, and we've been blessed with the fact that she is kind of adopted Central Catholic High School.
It gives you a feeling that you're doing something worthwhile. And it does bring you closer to God. It really does. You feel Him around you.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank all of you for joining us in our annual Bishops' Awards dinner. It is a pleasure to have you with us. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to honor outstanding Catholics who have given their lives in service to the Church and to the communities in which we live. In a special way, I also want to acknowledge your generosity in supporting Catholic charities and assistance for Catholic education.
Help for today, hope for tomorrow. For nearly 70 years, that's what Catholic Charities has been providing for hundreds of thousands of needy people in our community.
Help for today means you try to meet their immediate needs and solve whatever the current problem is that they have. But hope for tomorrow is to give them the basis so they can continue with their life on a go-forward basis where they have some stability and expectation of success.
Catholic Charities is a nonprofit agency that provides services to low-income families and vulnerable seniors. The Summer Youth Nutrition Program is just one example. Each day, healthy lunches are served at 8 different sites throughout the city. Approximately 450 needy children count on getting a healthy lunch every day during the summer.
Thank you very much.
The Emergency Food Program supplies a box of nutritious food to 250 families each month.
Take care now.
And through the nutrition program, families are invited in to learn how to make healthy meals every day. These are just a few of the outstanding programs that Catholic Charities offers in an effort to build a just and compassionate society.
When we go to a Mass on Sunday, the final dismissal will be, the Mass is ended, go forth, serve God and one another. Well, our faith doesn't end at the threshold of the church. As we leave the church, we're supposed to carry that message into the community, and Catholic Charities is a way that helps us do that.
The benefits of a Catholic school education are far-reaching and exceed the obvious standards of academic excellence. When you send your children out into the world, it's important to know their faith will continue to be nurtured and their souls will prosper along with their minds. Our country's president recognized the value of Catholic education when he said, "Catholic schools carry out a great mission to serve God by building knowledge and character of our young people." By teaching the Word of God, you prepare your students to follow a path of virtue and compassion and sacrifice for the rest of their lives. However, funding a Catholic school education can be a struggle. Not wanting money to be an obstacle to a faith-based education, Bishop Stephen Blair reached out to the Young Men's Institute to help establish a nonprofit corporation that assists families with Catholic school education. Assistance for Catholic Education, or ACE, was then created.
First and foremost, it's a quality education from the academic standpoint. But beyond that, it's, I think, the Catholic values and traditions and morals that just become a part of you. And I think the biggest thing is that it helps people become better citizens. That's what we want to continue to provide.
Last year, 70 students in the diocese received tuition assistance. ACE provided $53,000. However, the need for assistance exceeded $400,000. With your continued support, we'll be able to meet that need and help those less fortunate also realize the true benefits of a Catholic school education.